Hello and welcome to a game of Dota 2. It is a StarSeries Season 7. I don't know why I wasn't going to say Season 4. Oh, I know why. Because it's Day 4. It's Season 7, Day 4. We have got ourselves Aspera taking on Verus Pro. And it is a Verus Pro's first game of the season. And I think it's the first game that I see of their new lineup as well. Of course, with me is Knaz. Knaz, welcome back.
Good to be back.
And I think that we already casted Goblak and G at least already. Actually, we also casted Resolution, but not in the same team on Saturday.
Yes.
And we had
Saturday.
Centaurs.
Oh! Yeah, we had Centaurs and Abaddons, but Centaur's gonna get banned out in this particular game.
Oh, they did their homework. Damn, Aspera. Well, that's a shame. Verus Pro did get their hands on Abaddon though. That's gonna be a really strong one already. I mean, IO banned out. I mean, that's old school. Timbersaw Razor, Vertus Pro already preemptively banning out people that could be strong against the OD and just nobody wants to deal with Timbersaw. But Aspera first pick Doom. How about that?
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised to see the first pick Doom. Well, I guess it was second pick, but still, like, they went right to it and picked up Doom and Dragon Knight. Those aren't heroes that we, like, really see anymore, particularly getting a band, like, picked like that. Dragon Knight's not picked so often. Doom, every time we see him, it's like last pick.
Yeah. I mean, Weaver, Lifestealer, where are they? They are just not picked up nor banned out. Darkseer now gets banned out, Naga Siren as well. We still, of course, have all those strong supports in the pool, like a Rubik, that is still actually in. Visage and Naga Siren did get banned out by Vertus Pro. And we have a Chen already picked up by Aspera. The Bane goes the way of Goblak. We know that he likes to play that one. And we have Rubik for Aspera, so I guess we have both support combinations now ready with a Bane Abaddon. I'm going to assume he's going to be support. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think Abaddon's probably going to be support. We saw Goblak draft him on Saturday, like you said, and they ran him as support. I think that's the role we're most likely to see him played in anytime a team picks him up. So it looks like that's probably going to be their support duo with the Bane and the Abaddon, and OD probably sitting in the mid lane for now.
I think that's a very good assumption. Looks like Vertus Pro is going to, for the first time of both teams, actually go into the bonus time. This draft has been kind of fast. Aspera has been, they have actually been playing all day already. They are in the middle of a best of 5 even. They have a break of the best of 5 up against NextKZ for Ahead Gaming to play their Starladder match. So they have been playing for quite a while, and maybe that's, I mean, added to their speed of drafting. We know that Goblak normally is one that already has a plan, so normally doesn't take that long to go for a draft, even though this one he's taking his sweetest time for. But Aspera, I mean, I guess, well, you can kind of say that they already know what they want. Having and a Doom and a Dragon Knight picked up first kind of already shouts like, okay, we know what we want and we're gonna get it straight away.
Yeah, it's when they pick up those two heroes right to start off, you probably have to figure that they have something in mind, because those aren't commonly even really banned early in the draft heroes, let alone to be picked up by VP. So they go with Chen and Rubik now. Chen also not a hero we see a ton of. He gets played. Rubik is sort of in and out in popularity as a support hero. Sometimes teams love Rubik and want to pick him up every game, and then sometimes we won't see him at all for weeks at a time. Sort of the same as Shadow Demon. So we'll see exactly what they're going to do with the rest of this, if Doom is going to be played as a carry role, if they're going to like solo him like we saw in that last game. They have a lot of options. Dragon Knight you kind of expect is going to be mid, Chen jungle, Rubik support, but what they're going to do with their last pick still remains to be seen.
Yeah, one Weaver indeed banned out. I believe like mid heroes for Vertus Pro, well actually OD versus Dragon Knight. I'm kind of thinking that we're not going to see OD in the mid. Or maybe we're not going to see Dragon Knight in the mid. Because the Dragon Knight OD, that just doesn't work. Dragon Knight's going to lose.
Yeah, I think a lot of times when you pick Dragon Knight, though, you're expecting to not win. As long as he sort of survives, I think maybe that's the point of it. But, yeah, they could send something else. Maybe they'll send Doom. Doom doesn't seem like he'll win really any better. He kind of relies on mana for the Scorched Earth just for the regen purposes, and also for Devour to get the gold advantage going his way. So I don't know if that's one of those heroes that they're going to want to send there. At least they're both not int heroes, so that they won't lose attack damage. Maybe that's the thought.
Well,
Juggernaut also could go mid.
yeah, a lot of options here, but I think I guess you're right with Doom. Or sorry, with Dragon Knight still mid. I mean, they're just gonna know that he is not gonna get anything apart from levels there, or even that's gonna be getting less levels than OD is getting. But if they can sacrifice that to get a Juggernaut up to farm, because I'm expecting a Juggernaut on the safe lane, Doom on the off lane. We've seen offlane Doom before. I don't think it's actually really all that ideal, especially not if there's going to be a lane that has a Bane and a Baron there. But he can get his levels up. Although, saying that, we know that Goblet likes his aggressive tri lanes, and there's still definitely a potential for them to run that with a Bane, Abaddon, Alchemist aggressive tri lane, and then still putting something on the safe lane that's just farming by himself. I mean, Lone Druid is still in the pool.
They could also just run Bane, Abaddon, and whatever this pick is aggressive, like Alchemist, mid, OD, safe lane, very easily. So VP have options as well with what they want to go for. OD could end up in the tri lane. We've seen it happen. It's not particularly common, and I don't even think it's really ideal because the levels are so good on Outworld. But it has happened, and they do have the opportunity to do it here. With Mirana, maybe that's the way they're going to do it.
Mirana actually, of course, combines up very well with the Bane, so I think that's definitely a potential for VirtusPro to run that aggressive, and indeed with Resolution, Alchemist mid. Well, actually, Resolution, of course, I mean, I say Resolution mid because I'm normally seeing Resolution in the mid lane. But in this case, I mean, there's also G, so I'm guessing G is going to take out the mid role and Resolution on the safe lane farming. But they're exchangeable, so everything can still happen with this lineup. We only know who the cores are and who the supports are, but other than that, they're actually very versatile in their lineup, as well as, I mean, with their heroes, as well as with their players.
Yeah, I don't even know necessarily who they're going to want to send to what lane. G and Resolution both used to be mid players, so who do we expect to see in the mid lane? And both of those heroes are the two I would have guessed that could go mid in this particular situation. Light of Heaven played off lane for Na'Vi forever, but he used to play carry before that.
Yep.
So anything could happen right now, and I guess this will be the game that gets to show us what they're maybe thinking for their lanes, where they want these players to maybe start going for roles, or maybe they're just going to switch it up every game.
Yeah, and that's something that actually I think has a lot of power. Of course, I mean, you do have two people that have to learn two roles, and I mean, in a way, you can kind of hit yourself in the head for that, or shoot yourself in the foot with that, but it kind of makes it more difficult for opponents to actually guess where people are going to go. But it looks like we're going to see OD still mid. I mean, in theory, there's nothing really that an OD wants to dodge here on the side of Aspera. So we're going to see G playing the OD, he'll be in the mid lane, and then Resolution will be farming it up on the Alchemist. I'm assuming he's going to be by himself. I mean, he has been playing by himself, as in has been a solo lane forever, so he should be fine as well on the Alchemist there on the top lane. And Ness will play the Bane. I'm expecting him to be roaming bottom to set up for arrows for Light of Heaven, who will be playing the Mirana and who will get saved by Goblak. On the other side, we actually have had Abaddon Mirana lanes, duo lanes, and I'm not sure if that was with Rock's Kiss, for which Goblak and G at that point stood in, which we casted last Saturday. But did they actually run the 2-1-2 with the Abaddon Mirana lane? Or at least Abaddon something lane?
They ran a 2-1-2, but I don't think it was the Abaddon game. I'm trying to remember now. I feel like I don't remember exactly. I know that they ran a 2-1-2 one game. Yeah. I don't think it was that game though, the one where they had Abaddon, because they had Centaur solo up in the top lane that game.
Yeah,
they definitely had the tri lane. But they did have like an Abaddon Mirana. Was it even Bane? It might have been Abaddon Mirana Bane as their tri lane.
Well, for now, Bane will be on the top lane. I mean, Alchemist and Bane actually work well together as well. Of course, you've got your Nightmare to set up for an extra long unstable concoction if you want to. Light of Heaven with a haste rune, by the way. Oh, finds himself a poor old Rubik. And, well, if he gets an arrow, he might actually get a first blood. In comes a salve. Needs an arrow. Light of Heaven. No, we're not going to try for it. Not going to give mana for that one. So, I think I went over everybody over VirtusPro. I'll leave Aspera for you.
Yeah, for Aspera, we're going to go audio down the bottom lane playing the carry Juggernaut. Stompa going to be on the Rubik supporting him. Mid lane, we're going to have Sharphic on the Dragon Knight. And then top lane will be Inquisitor on the Doom, with Zoo currently aggressively jungling on the Chen.
I guess that works out. I don't think that VirtusPro is expecting this, as we may have Doom in a little bit of trouble. Alchemist already charging up his stun. Nightmares there. Inquisitor is going to be in a world of pain soon. Having a shield kind of helps, but it might not be enough against the harassment that comes out on him right now. One more hit needed, and oh, the self and the movement speed is enough, or is it not? Can he charge up another stun? He is already charging up another stun, moving towards the high ground. Zizou coming as well, though. Needs to throw it out. Send home in time! No! Not in time! Resolution with the first blood on Inquisitor's Doom. Nice attempt for Zizou to send his Doom home, but it was too late.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Test of Faith takes 6 seconds at level 1, so not really going to cut it. And the worst part is, that uses up 200 of Chen's mana, so he's way low on mana now. He's not going to be able to just kind of rotate through creeps as effectively. He's going to pop some clarities to try and get it back. Unfortunately, is First Blood going the way of VP, so Doom struggling a little bit up in that top lane, at least to start.
Yeah, and now, like you said, Chen as well, and on top of that, they actually know that Chen is aggressive jungling, which was of course unknown yet up until this point. So pretty strong for VirtusPro, pretty strong start for VirtusPro. In the meantime, on the bottom lane, Light of Heaven has been managing to get only 2 last hits so far, which is really not that much considering he is ranged up against a melee. So quite surprising at that, with 5 still for Guadio, so he's actually not doing too bad here on this lane as we have a rotation. Centaur coming in on the OD. He has not got an Aspera imprisonment for another 2 seconds. In comes the Centaur stun. We don't have the Dragonite close by though, and he also does not have any mana to help out with this one. So he will live. Otherwise, if Sharfik actually had some mana, that might have been a go.
Yeah, but he doesn't even have stun leveled because he's never going to be really using any of his abilities.
He's only got 26 mana, never mind that.
Yeah, he's going to be maxing his passive for the most part in this lane, which is completely appropriate. He needs to max his passive to really survive. And that's all he wants to do. Chen, I don't think they ever planned on killing him in the mid lane. It should seem obvious to them that they weren't going to get that kill. But they can harass. They can send that Centaur in, just right-click him a few times, back off with the Chen. He doesn't really care as long as he's kind of messing with him in that middle lane.
You'd really hope, like, if you are going to be up against an OD as a Chen, that you get yourself a Harpy Stonecaller. That would be
Harpy would be really good for just the chain lightning spam. It's a really annoying nuke.
Yeah.
And he's not particularly tanky, so that magic damage that he can just keep throwing out can be really tedious for the OD.
Yeah, we have a smoke up for Zizou, with the Centaur still, of course, moving towards the bottom lane. In comes a shield upon Light of Heaven. They know that the stacking and pulling is going on. Don't find anybody with it though. Oh, now they find Godlike Telekinesis there with the stomp as well. Arrow up on the Centaur only, and Godlike will be the one to go down unless the shield can save his life. No, it cannot. Morana does find a way out, however, and that should be the end of that one unless Light of Heaven tries to do something solo, which I'm not expecting. And by the way, Doom leaving top lane to go into the jungle as well.
Yeah, he's not having a good time up there against the Bane and the Alchemist, and they can kill him pretty effectively, particularly as Resolution is starting to get levels. Once he hits level 6, Doom is pretty much completely screwed in that lane, so it makes sense for him to just go, start jungling, try and get experience and gold elsewhere.
Audio standing on 12 last hits. I mean, they are stopping him from free farming, which I guess is the goal. I mean, they've got an Alchemist that's free farming after all, but considering Alchemist is free farming, he did take, of course, an excursion to kill off the Doom, but he's actually 10 last hits behind on, for example, the OD in the mid lane. But
yeah, he's
I mean, it's on his team. Don't get me wrong. I guess that's good.
Yeah, and that excursion was to get the First Blood gold. He actually got the last hit on it, so he got First Blood. He's not really behind in net worth, even though he's behind by quite a few last hits, and with that Greevil's Greed that he has been putting points into, he's going to start getting pretty far ahead.
Yeah, Guadio still the highest for his team, but he is, like I said, I mean, he's not really shut down, but he is slowed down, which is all you really want from a duo lane, aggressive duo lane that is, which is something that we don't normally see. But it's working out just fine for VirtusPro. I think they're pretty happy with all their lanes, because in theory they're basically winning all their lanes, and that's all you want from the start of your game. And we know VirtusPro also the previous VirtusPro, they are and always have been a team that is very strong with their lanes. And it's good to see that hasn't changed.
Yeah, as long.
Oh,
I mean, it's a key to success.
That's gonna be a kill. Light of Heaven, Starstorm. Oh, one more hit needed. He leaps forward, gets Telekinesis instead. Stompa saving his carry. Well played. And comes a shield for Light of Heaven. Just getting him out safe, but Juggernaut does not die.
Yeah, that was really close too. It's unfortunate that they weren't able to just quite finish off. It was a very good play by the Rubik to grab him basically mid-leap with the Telekinesis, stop him in his tracks, and make sure that the Juggernaut get away. You don't want your Juggernaut to be getting killed down there. He is kind of their only hero that's farming even reasonably well, and he's not particularly doing great even then. He's only even with the Mirana, and the other two lanes are going way in favor of VP. Looks like a gank mid.
Yeah, let's see. Astral Imprisonment already keeps Sharvik in place. Is there enough damage? There might be. The Brain Sap already used. Sharvik. Oh, yeah, there is enough damage. Sanity's eclipse when that's gonna be Dragonite down. Dragonite, of course, who is still level 5 up against an OD that's now almost level 8. On the other side of the map, we have an Alchemist that has a Hand of Midas at 6 minutes, and this can get out of hand real fast for Aspera.
Yeah, when all your lanes are losing, and I mean, they're not losing every lane, they're kind of just going even bottom, it's like a wash. But they're losing their other two lanes to the extent where one person had to abandon, the mid just got killed. Things aren't looking particularly good for Aspera, and they gotta figure out what their strategy is going to be to kind of remedy this, because their team isn't even necessarily better as the game goes on.
Yeah, normally, like when it doesn't really go the way you want to as a team. Normally, you have one of those heroes that can get you back in the game. And I guess if you look at the lineup of Aspera, in this case, that might actually be the Dragonite. A Juggernaut needs a little bit more before he can start being that hero. Doom needs his level 6, and he is still level 4, so he's not really that kind of hero just yet either. And otherwise, of course, you have the supports, and they will actually try to make something happen. They're both level 5 and are smoked up towards the mid lane. I'm not sure if they can kill anybody off there though. OD, he is so far ahead, and of course he's a pretty tough one to gank, especially since he has got that extra armor from the buckler. They're gonna try though. Well, I guess they need to try.
Yeah, they don't even necessarily need to kill him, but if they can just push him out of the lane for a while, that can be good enough.
Dragon Tail helping out. G. Test of Faith doing a lot of damage. Astral Imprisonment comes out. TP's coming in. In comes Mirana. Light of Heaven with an arrow up on the Chen. Chen will go down, but at least OD went down as well, so Aspera gets at least one extra kill on the board. But Mirana's still coming in. Nice arrow stolen by the Rubik, by the way, but it misses. It's always a nice spell to have. You don't normally expect arrows coming out of a Rubik, so that's always nice. But they get a kill, and that's the most important thing. Okay, yeah, you give a Chen, that's worth it.
Yeah, they end up trading, but that's a lot of commitment from Aspera, and VP just rotate one.
Yeah.
Mirana is the only one to move towards that mid lane, was able to get the kill on Chen because he got stunned in the tower. So, I mean, they get the kill on OD, it's a very needed kill, but you didn't really do it cleanly, and you committed a lot to it.
Yeah, we do have the Dragonite, of course, using his Dragon Form also with the double damage rune. He actually rotated top. And he'll probably be able to get more farm here as well, especially with that DD rune. But he left mid alone because he knows that he can't really do anything up against G anymore, unless he has help from a couple of supports. He'll get help from a couple of supports on the top lane now. Still level 5 on the Chen, of course, he went down before the kill happened, actually, I believe. No, at the same time, so he still got that experience from the kill. But he's gonna try to help Sharvik here. We have Ines roaming around. He has got a Fiend's Grip. Resolution is level 8 and has got his ulti off cooldown. Hello, Bane, and hello, Stompa. And that means that an arrow comes in and it misses. And Moonlight Shadow will help out, maybe for a turnaround. And they're gonna try it as well. Goblik coming in with his Abaddon, and everybody else on the run already on the side of Aspera. Will they still catch one out? The Sentry Ward is there, of course. Just
yeah,
really
that Sentry's going to end it. They've dropped the Sentry just to see them in case they try and do exactly what they did, Moonlight Shadow for the initiation. And as a result, able to just get away cleanly. No one really gets an advantage there. They're stopping Alchemist from farming a little bit. Resolution's struggling somewhat, but they're still committing a lot and not really getting anything out of it, or not as much as they need to, and that's really bad for Aspera in this situation.
Yeah, oh, Fiend's Grip. Hello, Ines, welcome to the bottom lane, and bye, Go Audio. That's nighttime for you. Bane coming in unaware, and Juggernaut thinking maybe he was safe since there was some rotation towards top. Maybe he can get some last hits, maybe he can get some farm. No siree.
Yeah, if they can get some farm on some of these heroes, it could be okay, but they're just kind of struggling everywhere still.
Nice arrow though up on the OD, but Nightmare coming in instantly from Ines. In comes a Doom. They really want this OD. Well, they'll get him, but in comes Resolution with charging up a stun, looking for Sharvik. Gets him in the stun. Gets him in the acid spray, but Resolution taking a lot of damage here. Has to be careful. Netted up by the Jet and taken down. 2 kills going the way of Aspera. They might be able to get something off the back of this one. They have got the healing ward from Go Audio. They might be able to take down a tower. I mean, they have 5 heroes here after all. If they don't, it's kind of heavy commitment. I mean, they do kill off the highest targets on side of VirtusPro. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, I'm really surprised Resolution went in there. I'm not sure what his plan was. Just to try and get a kill, I guess, but it was unlikely he was going to be able to finish it off, the Dragon Knight in particular, off at this stage of the game. He doesn't have a lot of points in the acid spray quite yet. His stun doesn't last that long. So it was aggressive. He ended up getting punished for it, and they ended up losing a tower as well. So good play for Aspera. It helps bring them back into this, even though they are still getting pretty heavily out-farmed.
Yeah, was the first tower to go down, never mind, that's the second. I was gonna say maybe they get some extra gold from that for their supports, as Light of Heaven will be able to TP away from this one. No Omni Slash coming out from Go Audio to try and interrupt that TP. Didn't see him in time. But this is the start of maybe Aspera making a little bit of a comeback, because they definitely needed these fights. I mean, don't get me wrong. We already kinda were leaning towards, well, VirtusPro got this in the bag. There's no way Aspera can come back, but that's exactly what they needed to do to still be in this game and to still maybe put VirtusPro at a bit of a pause in terms of their game plan, maybe slowing their game down so that Aspera can get some extra gold up before VirtusPro actually makes their move.
Yeah, it's really just going to come down to if some team makes big mistakes, it can be really bad for them, but if I think VP have an advantage if both teams just play well and play defensively.
We've got 4k gold still in favor of VirtusPro after the towers dropped, of course, and after the kills were done. I mean, the kill score is 4-4. So this is just farming difference, and of course the Hand of Midas from the Alchemist making a difference as well. We have experience going away VirtusPro still, but not by that much. Of course, like I said, kills are even, as we have maybe a bit of a go for the Juggernaut. Nope, they'll just back off here. We have Abaddon sitting at level 6, by the way, and something that we haven't really talked about. Like, one of the annoying things about Abaddon is that he normally stays alive, and you can't really focus him because he'll hit his borrowed time, and he'll just throw out shields and heals, and you can't really do anything against him. Wait a second, maybe they can do something against him, but because in comes the hate train, they're gonna gank them up again, looking for a Doom, finds it as well. Moonlight Shadow trying to help out, the shield being given to G as well, a heal as well. Inquisitor still chasing him down. He's not gonna be invisible soon though. Borrowed time up on Godblack will keep him safe. We'll just wait a second and see if G gets away, and he does actually get away.
Yeah, it's hard to just say you're going to doom someone they're going to die when you have an Abaddon standing next to him. He has the shield to help mitigate some damage, he has the mist coil to try and heal him up a little bit, and just weren't able to really chase him down.
Yeah. At the same time, you can't target Godblack with a Doom, because the moment he drops at his borrowed time, the Doom will be removed. Of course, that is one of the nice things that you have if you're an Abaddon. Then you don't have to worry about getting doomed at all. And even if you do, I mean, the only thing you have to worry about then is to not have it on cooldown, the borrowed time. That is Resolution in a lot of trouble. Omni slashed and killed Juggernaut with the kill courier. Nice, he lives. Shadowblade being built up by Resolution, by the way. He has got his Shadowblade ready actually in the courier, if the courier makes it back to base. Which it does.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that he didn't give that up just in time, because Omni Slash is not particularly good against Shadowblade. You get like 2 hits off, but
Ness is gonna die. Or not. Astral Imprisonment still. Can he actually get away? Nope, he cannot. Doom with the kill. I was thinking maybe an extra shield or a heal might be saving him, but it was just too much hate. I mean, that's something that Aspera is doing really well right now. They're just, you know, they don't get strength by their heroes separately, so what they do is just group up and take advantages that way. Of course, you still have an Alchemist farming, you still have an OD maybe farming, like whichever one you don't shut down is still farming, obviously. But they're doing a good job at still keeping themselves in this game.
Yeah, they're moving around a lot, but they're not really making progress in terms of gold because they're all together almost all the time. They're shutting down one hero and then moving to another lane and stopping another hero from farming. But by the time they're getting there, because it's such an early stage of the game still, whoever they killed first is already respawned and is back in lane farming. So they're just kind of moving around, trying their best to shut down all these heroes farming from VP, but they're not really succeeding as of yet.
We've got a level 11 on the OD, by the way, who now also has his 4-star ready. Level 11, of course, important for these cores. I mean, he's not the only one that's level 11, as we can see. Also, the Dragon Knight and the Juggernaut are level 11, and also the Alchemist. But very important levels to hit, of course, to get your ulti at the 2nd level. And that, especially that OD, is gonna really hurt up on Aspera as they try Roshan, which they should be able to get, even though they don't really have a medallion. Maybe it's gonna be Aspera that tries to make a move here.
Yeah, you think they would. They're like standing there, grouped up, getting ready to go in, but they're not committing yet. And while this is happening, Roshan was taking damage, but them being there was enough to force VP to back off. It seems like they don't really want to take a big team fight, especially not in that Roche pit right now, and I can't say I blame them. Not convinced they would necessarily win. OD ult does a lot of damage, and they can sort of try and
Fiend's
rely
Grip.
on
Oh, already gets interrupted. Stompa, nice steal, by the way. Has now the Fiend's Grip, but had the shield before. But this is a Rubik with a Fiend's Grip. This is scary stuff. Rubik actually goes middle, gonna be going for Light of Heaven. Let's see if he's gonna be using the Fiend's Grip. Or if he gets arrowed first. Well, he got arrowed, and then he still cast a Fiend's Grip. Test of Fate there. Is it enough? Light of Heaven gets a shield, gets a heal. He lives for now. He lives indeed. He is running for his life. Gets a DD rune if he wants to. He wants to, and he just continues running. It is the Bane in the end that ends up going, the Bane that still ends up going down. In the meantime, Doom also used. It is Alchemist that drops G in a lot of trouble. Gets Dragon Tailed, tries to 4-star forward, but 6 charges. Is it enough? No, he ends up going down as well. Juggernaut with another kill. 3 dead on the side of VirtusPro. I mean, Mirana lives, great, but still 3 dead. Goblak, what are you doing? You're by yourself. You can't get it in eye. Well, that was kind of ballsy. But apparently nobody did anything against him.
Yeah, they get dove behind that tier 2 tower and lose 3 heroes. That's pretty bad for VP, and like you said, Mirana survives. Goblak moved to the mid lane to make sure that Light of Heaven was able to survive there, but they end up, those 2 heroes going to the mid lane to just not really get anything done, and in the meantime the rest of their team dies. So definitely it's good for Aspera there. They get that tier 1 tower as well. They're leading by 1 tower now with that pickup, and they're not in as bad a shape as they once were. The gold is starting to pull back their way, and of course with this kill advantage, they have started to accumulate quite the large experience advantage.
Yeah, with VirtusPro having a lot of pressure early on in the game on the lanes, and definitely, I mean, they won the lanes. There's no doubt about that. But Aspera is making a good case of coming back into this game. What do you expect VirtusPro to do now to stop Aspera from getting back into this game? Because it's starting to be quite worrisome. We almost have Go Audio ready with a Battle Fury, and it might not be looking so good for VirtusPro anymore when that happens.
Yeah, it's kind of strange that they're kind of just letting themselves get picked off repeatedly. They were pretty far ahead at the beginning of the game, and then they made like a couple weird decisions where they ended up feeding a few kills, and it starts slipping away pretty quickly. Now they just need to focus, I think, on farming. They have been heavily controlling the map in terms of farm by comparison to what Aspera has been able to really muster thus far. Just be aware that Aspera's moving around is effectively 4-5 heroes at all times, and try not to get picked off.
Yeah, Alchemist farming up. I mean, with the Shadow Blade, you'd expect him to maybe be a little bit more aggressive, but because Aspera has been able to apply so much pressure, he kind of can't pick off anybody. Aspera has been, of course, as you say, grouping up a lot, so it's hard to find someone that's actually by himself to try and kill. And Sharfik has got 3k gold, so his BKB, if he wants that, which I'm assuming he wants, is almost ready. And when he has that, I wouldn't be surprised to see Aspera just trying to 5-man push and see if they can take down some tier 2s. Actually, it's a Shadow Blade. Aggressive pickup from Sharfik. I like it.
Yeah, Shadow Blade DK used to be somewhat common. We saw players like Jo from EG would pick this up pretty commonly, and they were one of the first teams really doing that DK mid, I think. Regardless, it's very aggressive, you're right, and they're going to go with it. I don't know if it's necessarily be the best call if the game goes super late, but I think maybe they're not in a position where they want that to happen anyways. They want to keep laying this pressure on, moving around, trying to set up those pickoffs into tower pushes, and they've had success thus far, so maybe there's no reason to stop now.
Yeah, they try to go for Roshan again. We do have some Gen creeps coming to scout this out, though. Question is, will they be in time? It looks like they will be. Sharvik already walking with an Invis rune. Arrow will fly out and will actually hit up on the Chen. But Dragonite is just sitting here, waiting to pick up the Aegis. Let's see if he can. In comes the Doom, also gets Fiend Script instantly. Dragonite with the Aegis. That is gonna be a steal for him. Alchemist trying to charge up a stun. Can just turn around, throw it down on someone. Gets it on Inquisitor. As we have a leap that didn't really hit the high ground, and Light of Heaven will pay for that one. 3 dead on the side of VirtusPro, and that is gonna be a victory for Aspera in this matchup, or in this fight. But the battle not yet won. How does that work? The war not won, but the battle won, but not the war, or something. Awkward English.
Yeah, it's a good fight for Aspera, and VP had to know it was coming. They popped even the Moonlight Shadow, fully expecting it. They just didn't have the vision because they weren't aware Dragonite had that Shadow Blade picked up yet. So he was able to sneak in, snatch the Aegis, and things just got worse from there. So VP looking to be pretty far in the back foot now with that Aegis steal. They did get the gold and experience for the Roshan kill, which is still good for them, but any sort of lead they had is very, very quickly kind of disappeared in this particular game.
Yeah, the gold that they are in favor right now of this game is I mean, they're still in favor, don't get me wrong, but it's only like 2k, which is really nothing. Experience graph, they're actually behind. No surprise there. It's 13-4 in terms of kills, and that's quite good for Aspera, to be fair. There's a Battle Fury up on this Juggernaut. The tower went down. That was the last tier 1 tower standing on the side of Aspera, or on the side of VirtusPro, while Aspera still has 2 of their tier 1 towers standing, and only 1 tower of themselves actually being picked off on the bottom lane. Maybe VirtusPro is going to make something happen though. They rotate bottom. They might be trying to pick off this Juggernaut. We also have some support incoming though. It is Stompa that's around here again. He actually got the Aspara Imprisonment, which is a good one to have. Go Audio though. He is already picked up before the fight even starts. Nice telekinesis. Sunning up everybody at VirtusPro, giving some time for Inquisitor to TP in, but they are actually not going to go for this. Maybe they are once Sharvik comes in from the side though. Alchemist charging up his stun. They saw Sharvik walk in there. They have got the ward, but it is gonna be Sharvik that takes a safe way out. Sentry ward got placed just in case he uses Shadow Blade, but they don't find him. They back off. Don't want to be walking inside a trap.
Yeah, they can't really afford to fight that under the tower right now. They're not really in a position where they're very, very strong, and they can go and get this tower mid for free instead. So it's a good decision by VP to just take the tower that they can get easily, avoid the fight, and try and go back to farming and building a lead up again, because it's pretty much dead even in terms of gold at this point.
Yeah, we've got the Alchemist though. I mean, if you look at net worth, you see just Resolution very high on top of that net worth chart. Of course, that's normal because he's an Alchemist. Better yet, he is a safe farming Alchemist with the Hand of Midas, so you know he should be on top of that one. He's got a BKB and a Shadow Blade, but so far he has not been able to make it all that worth it for him. I mean, he hasn't used his BKB yet, fair enough, still 10 seconds. We have got the Shadow Blade, he hasn't really been able to initiate to go for any kills. He's died 3 times, has been in 2 out of the 5 kills so far, and is now continuing to farm because he needs to, of course, but it's kind of a shame. His Shadow Blade is like gaining dust in his inventory.
Yeah, it's not doing a ton. If it could come up to the point where it'll be very useful again, but for right now they're just not in the position.
Borrow time should keep him safe. Is it enough? Yes, it is.
Yeah, they forced it on cooldown though, so that makes it a little more awkward for him to get really involved in the next fight.
Yeah, it looks like VirtusPro is going to dodge that next fight altogether. They're actually moving towards the top lane, looking to take down a tier 1. Their tier 2 already picked off, and Aspera, they're not wasting any time. They are going to try to take down a tier 3 tower and force out some TPs. And success achieved.
Yeah, and Aspera don't even necessarily need to commit to this tower. If VP do what they're pretty much doing here and allow them to commit, sure. But they can just sort of lay some damage on here with the Dragon Form and then back off before they lose anything too big. They also still have that Aegis up on Sharvik, so that's why he's positioning himself so aggressively.
Yeah, he is definitely all in there. Oh, that is Go Audio inside of Fiend's Grip. He keeps being up though. Hand of God being used, and it's God like that dies first. His burrow time on cooldown really hurt him there. Sharvik taking a ton of damage, but his Aegis will be popped. We've got G back in this after being doomed earlier on. He is able to kill off Zuzu. Resolution with the last hit, but he takes a Dragon Tail straight to the face, and his Chemical Rage actually being over. He's still charging up a stun, goes for Sharfik, and he can get a kill. Triple kill for Resolution right now. Can they find more? I don't think they can. Go Audio on the run. The Doom is still hanging around there though. Inquisitor, it looks like he might be the 4th kill of VirtusPro in this fight, and that's an Astral Imprisonment. Maybe we're gonna see another kill for Resolution. Let's see if he gets it. Nope. Denied, but Bane takes the kill. 4 kills. They did take down the tier 3 tower, but no Rex down. 4 for a tier 3 tower. Do you think that's worth it?
No, and I mean, it's not. It's good to get the tier 3 tower down, but they don't have like a split pusher where having that tier 3 tower down is suddenly amazing. It's not like Nature's Prophets on their team, and now that those barracks are exposed, he can always just appear and pressure them and force TPs. They're going to have to basically just push the lane with this particular team, and there was no real reason for them to lose all those heroes. They could have gotten that tier 3 tower and just walked away pretty much. They even forced out a buyback. I think it was just a little bit overstaying their welcome by aSpera. They dove basically to the tier 4 towers, chasing heroes back, and they end up giving away a bunch of kills when they had a huge advantage, pretty much.
And they also gave away, of course, I mean, the Aegis dropped, but Dragon Knight died again after that as well, so that was quite a blow in the face of aSpera. Slightly overconfident, perhaps. And we'll see if they can try to do it again. I mean, in theory, if they do it again and take down the Rex this time and still lose 4, then I'd say, yeah, okay, I understand that. You just want to barrel through, see how far you can get. But they have to be careful because that Alchemist, that is, by the way, taking a lot of damage from those Ancients, will still be very strong and will be, like, if the fight goes on long enough, he'll be standing there and hitting you in the face, and that's still going to hurt like hell. They do have a lot of disables, though. So that BKB now down to 9 seconds. Actually, Alchemist did not use his BKB in that fight.
Yeah, look at that.
Impressive for Resolution. I mean, he got a triple kill. In the end, he didn't need it because he didn't die. But still, that's still quite scary for aSpera, because I was gonna say, like, there's a lot of disable, but, you know, the more they fight, the lower that BKB duration goes. Well, not if he doesn't use it.
Well, we're going to have VP in a position where they have to defend another tier 3 now. I don't know that aSpera are going to be as aggressive this time. They don't have the Aegis. They just kind of gave up a bunch of kills, so they're not super far ahead, but it looks like they're going to go for it anyways, and at least try and put some damage on this tier 3.
Yeah, forcing out some TPs at least. But this is all the outer towers down on the side of VirtusPro, by the way. So this is quite scary for them. Should there be more pushes incoming? aSpera, they have, what, 1 tier 2 tower now down, which is just taken down. Oh, Sharfik. There's no gem, right? Nope. They don't know he's here, so they're gonna go for Zizou. Should be able to get him. In comes the net. Zizou's still stunned. There's a shield. Sharfik can turn this around. He has got the dragon form. Looks like he's just gonna give up his gen for dead, though. It's like, screw you.
There's not much he could do there. He can get himself killed. Like,
I was thinking maybe everybody comes to help. I mean, they've got everything up.
They're pretty far though, and they would have been kind of trickling in because the move speeds are so different between Doom and Rubik, who are the 2 closest. So Doom would have gotten there sort of in the middle, and then Rubik would have been way behind. It would have been really awkward. It makes sense to just kind of give it up, but they're going to go now in Sharfik.
So the stun hits. There's no detection though. There is a dust up on Godlike if they choose to hit it. Astral Imprisonment. Let's see if they can get this skill, but in comes Sharfik, saving his Rubik. Rubik already dead though. Sharfik has to be careful. He doesn't have a BKB for himself. Juggernaut ends up going down to the Bane on another side of the map with Mirana and Bane doing the job with the 2 of them. Sharfik still on the hunt though, looking for Godlike. The dust has been popped by Godlike to do at least something before he dies, but die he shall. Resolution not able to help out anymore. It's a 1 for 2 trade with the Juggernaut indeed. I mean, he went down on the bottom lane. I would assume Fiend Script used by that one. Yeah, it was a Fiend Script arrow. I mean, you can kind of assume what was going on there. And actually, Mirana is the one with the gem. They kind of could have used that. But that's a good trade.
Yeah, it's a pretty good trade for VP, just like you say. They trade support for support, basically. Cooldowns being blown kind of by both sides. They did expend the BKB on the Alchemist this time, so that hurts a little bit. But at the same time, they got that kill on Juggernaut bottom. They were distracting away from that lane, and Juggernaut is kind of playing the actual carry role for aSpera with that pickup of Battle Fury. But now he went for Sanj and Yasha, so I guess I don't know what he's trying to do. Just wants to farm, but also wants to kind of go mid-gamey.
We have a Heaven's Hubbard up on the Dragon Knight, though. That's going to be Pretty annoying for the Alchemist. Resolution is going to have to deal with that one most likely. Luckily for him, the OD is actually doing quite well. He picked up a Mystic Staff, so he's working towards his Scythe of Ice. And I mean, getting the Heaven's Albert up on Sharvik, it kind of delays his BKB, and that's of course all good for G. He doesn't like heroes that have a BKB at all. We have actually no BKBs up on anybody of Aspera, which is quite surprising if you're up against an OD that's doing fairly well.
Yeah, obviously BKB is very powerful against OD because it stops that damage that can come out from his ultimate, and all of their heroes that are really core are not intelligence heroes, so they're going to always be taking a lot of damage from that Sandy's Eclipse if it hits them. I guess they have the Blade Fury on Go Audio, maybe that's somewhat useful. For it helps dodge it, but when you're using Blade Fury, you're not using Omni Slash or really getting in position as well, I guess. I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening with it. Roshan is up, and it looks like they want to fight over it.
Yeah, both teams, of course, would gladly take this one. And it is Aspera that goes in first, seeing how fast they can take it down. They have got the help of the Doom that has now got the Soul's Caress, but they still have to be careful. The Moonlight Shadow is already there. Doom is already, or Roshan is already dead. Juggernaut with the Aegis. And VirtusPro says, you know, screw that. We're not gonna risk our lives for a fight that's already won by the opponent team with the Aegis there. Dragon Knight still wants to fight though. Gets a Dragon Tail, gets Goblik there. Goblik's gonna be force-staffed into safety. Is it gonna be enough? Dragon's Breath coming through as well. In comes a shield trying to help out. Borrowed Time definitely will help out. Sharvik still with the haste rune though. Gets Astro imprisoned. We have everybody of Aspera here on the bottom lane. Maybe wanting to go in. At least Sharvik wants to. He's not even the one with the Aegis right now. Still diving. Omni Slash. Bane goes down. Goblik still alive. Gets Mechanism charged. No Borrowed Time this time though. Astro imprisonment though. Keeps him safe. In comes Resolution. Sun up on Sharvik. Hand of God. Helping Sharvik out for the moment. The Doom up on Resolution. There goes the Sanity's Eclipse, and Stompa goes down. Inquisitor Sharvik, they back out from the enemy's base. Zizu, I don't think he'll be able to make it though. Juggernaut might be able to help him out, but he is gonna get Astro Imprisonment and be safe for later as Zizu dies, and now Juggernaut will be up next. No Omni Slash to try and get himself out of that place. Blade Fury might be enough, but Resolution still chasing, still wanna have him. Is he fast enough with those face boots? Is he fast enough with that Sanjin Yasha? It might be, but as for Imprisonment once again, Sun being charged up, that's gonna be the Aegis gone, and there is nobody on his team around to try and save him from going down again. So I think we can safely assume that that's gonna be another kill added to the board, making it a 3-1 to raid. Well, I guess 3-4 if you can count the Aegis as a kill, unless Go Audio can actually run from this, which would be quite amazing. In comes a 4-stab G, boom, you're dead.
Yeah, unfortunately, he used his TP and immediately got Astro imprisoned. It wasn't even trying to cancel the TP, it was just he was using it on him. So he didn't have that TP scroll anymore to get out, or even to like try and hide somewhere and just TP out. So he's wasted a lot of time from VP. I guess it's like the best he could hope for there, since he was eventually going to die pretty much no matter what. So yeah, it's a good fight for VP. They lose the Roshan fight, it just goes down so quickly with that AC up on Doom, but they end up chasing into their base once again and just kind of getting killed.
Again, I mean, they just run right past the barracks and like, okay, Dragon Knight walking towards the mid lane, getting caught between tier 4 towers. It was kind of awkward. I mean, Sharvik was the one to always also get away, but he made his team having to follow him.
Yeah, that's the second time now that they've dove tier 4 towers, and they ended up getting kind of heavily punished for it when they really didn't have any reason to. They had the healing ward from Juggernaut, they had the Aegis up on Juggernaut, they could have just sort of sieged those barracks down at the very least before they start and go for like a crazy team fight under 2 tier 4 towers.
Yeah, that's kind of doomed to fail, but to be fair. Pun intended. Now, Doom actually didn't die. Doom and Dragon Knight were the ones to survive, right? I mean, that's quite high priority target, so that's good. That's fair enough, but losing the Aegis and the Juggernaut, that's not that good.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of rough if they give up a couple more of those. Now we have a big advantage starting to go the way of VP. They still have those barracks exposed. That's always going to be pretty important, and they haven't taken all the outer towers yet. So, VP, I think they might just sit back and continue farming. If Aspera going to keep throwing team fights effectively by doing kind of overextending aggressive things, you know, that's not the worst thing in the world for VP.
Not at all. And then the game just comes falling into a lap, to be fair. We have Light of Heaven now for picking up a Demon Sight, so I'm gonna expect an MKB for him soon. He is doing really well. I mean, in theory, he's an off-lane Mirana. Well, of course, he was a dual lane. That does help. But he is he's only died once so far. And he is second highest for his net worth, as we have got Gobelak perhaps dying here. He tries to run, but he gets Dragon Tailed and killed on borrow time. Nah, Moonlight Shadow is not gonna help him, or is it? Sentry Ward goes down, one more hit needed. There we go, he dies. Doom with the kill. I guess he wasted a Sentry Ward of the opponent team. He was way too far in over his head anyway, on the wrong side of the map. By himself.
He also distracted them a little bit, but there's nothing really going to come out of it because they're not able to push that tier 3 bottom. So just kind of, he got picked off. I'm not sure really why he was over there, but it's just a free kill that he gives the way of Aspera, and you really don't want to be giving away those free kills. They finally kind of clawed their way back into having an advantage in this game, so anytime you're giving away kills, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, we have got the Side of the Vice now up on the OD, by the way, so that's going to be helping them control Aspera. Aspera, of course, have 3 cores. And in theory, VirtusPro only have, well, I guess we can call them having 3 cores as well, with Mirana doing so well and with OD doing very well as well, especially because there's no BKBs yet up on the side of Aspera. But these cores
it's still
of Aspera
somewhat
kinda
surprising.
tanky.
It's definitely surprising that they haven't gone BKB on anyone. They have Juggernaut with Blade Fury, it gives them the magic immunity, and I kind of understand not going for it on Doom. You just kind of want to get tanky anyways, and he's going for the Shivas now, just to continue building up that armor, but there's so much magic damage that can come out from VP, and you gotta imagine you don't want to take all that magic damage. It's great to get the armor to help mitigate anything the Alchemist puts out, but you're still going to have to deal with the OD, and you're not doing anything right now to stop him.
No, and they want to fight again. They are actually rotating top. They leave the Juggernaut on the bottom lane for now. He is counter pushing that, but 4 heroes here of Aspera on the top lane looking to find someone. They will find Gobelak again though if they want to, and I think Sharvik will gladly take at least something, and that's going to be him trying to run again, but burrow time, well, it will only last for so long. You're still a support at heart, of course, if you're abandoned in this game with only treads. He's got 2300 gold though. And actually, he died, of course, I mean, he died twice in the last couple of seconds, last couple of minutes. But he only died 4 times before that.
Yeah, he's been kind of getting killed a lot recently, which is unfortunate for him. He's just trying to farm in his jungle, get a little bit of gold on his support, and then he meets the pain train from Aspera and dies repeatedly. So Gobelak not having the greatest game of his life, but if they're sitting around ganking Abaddon, or Abaddon, I'll get it right one day, repeatedly, they're not ganking the carries, and that's pretty good.
It is. We have almost the Desolator already up on the Juggernaut. We have got also a fight in the mid lane. We have Sharvik already Fiend Script, still in quite some trouble. The Doom is already up, trying to shut down Resolutions. Not working so far just yet though. Bane goes down first. G taking a lot of damage here from Sharvik. Forced up into safety, still stunned up. Couple of hits needed. Sharvik not able to get it though. Omni Slash to the low ground during the leap from Mirana. Juggernaut able to pick that one up. And in the meantime, OD, of course, still picked up on the side. That's 3 dead for only 1 Rubik going down on the side of Aspera. And that's a fight won by Aspera. And we see the drawing on the minimap. They are gonna try to go mid and see what happens. We have got buyback possible on not a Mirana. We have got one on Abaddon, an Alchemist, but those are still alive. That's actually the only one. The heroes that are dead right now cannot buy back. Mirana actually just finished up her MKB. But they're gonna have to fight without her. In comes an Alchemist stun, trying to help out Aspera. Are they gonna get an upset here? I think there is a chance, there might be.
Yeah, they might be able to just take out these barracks right now, and VP are in this like awkward position because they lost another fight.
They're actually gonna rotate bottom.
They just want the melees. Oh, they went for the ranged bottom. That's weird.
Well,
they left the range mid and then immediately go on the range bottom. All right.
They can get both though. They can get both. And snare up on a nest. I mean, this time, this is actually what they should be doing. Not focusing on the heroes that are standing around there because they can't do anything anyway. Go for barracks, go for things. Oh, stun up on Zissou. Looks like Verus Pro want to get some revenge. Will be able to kill off the Chen, but they won't be able to find more.
Yeah, so they're going to be able to just get that kill, but they lose 1.5 sets of racks as a result of it. So, and the range barracks mid is at 100 HP. That's like 1 hit from Juggernaut would have killed it. It's a pretty good thing for Aspera to get here. It's a huge advantage from the take. It's 2 lanes of Rex, and VP now way on the back foot.
Oh.
They're gonna have to deal with it.
Inquisitor hexed up. First step forward. Do they have a way to shut him down? The Doom is already up on G. The Fiend Script now opening Inquisitor. In comes Stomper though, trying to help out with the telekinesis, jumping it back into everybody Verus Pro perhaps? No, he backs off, he leaves his Doom to die, and he's running forward right now, staffing forward. In comes a leap from Mirana though, looking for an arrow perhaps. Doesn't Stomper, actually doesn't need an arrow, he can just die, because that MKB is hurting so much. Mid lane, VirtusPro, they want to try and make something happen right now. When Doom is dead, Doom does not have a buyback. 72 gold is what he misses. Ouch.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, so they end up getting a couple kills there, and that's really good for VP because they need to make something happen right now. They're going to immediately try and go for the tier 3 mid, try and take a lane of Rex, equalize at least this lane, force out the glyph, and if there's no buyback on Doom, and there actually isn't, they're going to be able to get this lane, it looks like. So this is kind of really back and forth in terms of momentum in this game. I really don't know who's going to come out ahead at this point.
No, and it could still go either way. Verus Pro being very careful. I mean, Doom is still dead for another 13 seconds, but they're not going to try to rotate to a tier 3. They're just backing off, playing it safe, and of course, we have got Roshan up again in a second, so perhaps they're going to be able to take that one down. Let's see if they're fast enough, actually, because that's, of course, going to be the question here. Are they going to be fast enough before Aspera gets there? Because Aspera is already on their way.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
They should be fast enough. Yeah, they should be. Alchemist now also with an Abyssal, but of course also with that Assault Grass helping out. Aegis gets picked up by G. And it's this time...
resolution.
Is under attack.
And because this time it is Aspera that backs off after seeing that the Roshan is already dead.
Yeah, VP, that's good for them to have the Aegis, the cheese. I don't know that the cheese is particularly great on Alchemist. Maybe it'll come up, but he's already really survivable in these fights. If he's going down, usually it's because the fight's almost lost at that point. So maybe he ends up giving it to OD after the Aegis pops. Regardless, VP, they still have to deal with this lane at the very least bottom, constantly pushing in. Mid, they have an advantage because their range Rax is still standing, but it's not a huge one, and they're going to have to get these Rax down, and probably pretty quickly. Aspera are going to keep that pressure on them, especially in the top lane.
Yeah, we do have Goblik now also with Helvin's Halberd, so we'll be able to throw it out in return to the Dragonite most likely. Depending on who he wants, Dragonite or Doom, it's kind of interchangeable. Maybe even a Juggernaut. I mean, he's pumping out quite heavy amount of damage with that Desolator now in his inventory as well. And I think both teams, maybe we're going to see Aspera trying to make a move considering they are already ahead. Maybe trying to just force Verus Pro to sit in that top lane while the bottom lane is pushing in and then, you know, try to take advantage of that one. But I'm expecting that buybacks are going to be so important that we might just have to wait until the teams feel like they have enough funds for buybacks and then to still take a fight. Unless people get
buybacks. Obviously, buybacks are going to be huge here. If they get, kind of every lane that's been pushed thus far has been on the back of someone getting picked off and not having buyback, and it's just made their team have to basically give up buildings to survive long enough for someone to respawn. It was Doom getting picked off that gave mid away on Aspera, and of course OD getting picked off that gave away the mid and bottom for VP. So yeah, maybe both teams are going to learn from their mistakes and try and make sure they actually have buyback up on their core heroes before they take another big fight. Aspera, they have a lot of buybacks and it's on their cores, so maybe they're going to do something now. Otherwise, just kind of sitting grouped up in the top jungle is not a particularly great use of their time.
Yeah, the only core on Verus Pro that doesn't have buyback is Resolution, who just picked up his Daedalus. But that's the only one, and as you say, I mean, only the supports on Aspera don't have buyback, so that's not that big of a deal. We'll see if they make something happen though. The sentry board is there, they are walking right past it and like, okay, creeps are attacking me. They know, that means that that's a no-go anymore.
Yeah, and Moonlight Shadow is actually very, very powerful in this situation. If they don't have those sentries to like cover the retreat path ever, it's very possible that VP can just pop the Moonlight Shadow, run in, but here comes the fight.
Inquisitor already gets hexed and Fiend Script before he can lay down the Doom on anybody. Hand of God tries to help out. Hello, Sharpic. Down goes the Aegis. Down goes Stompa. Down goes the Doom as well. Light of Heaven already leaping him himself out, coming back into the fight to see if he can do something more. Resolution will take a quick break after being doomed. Will come right back at Sharvik though, and of course they have got the gem. Sharvik does not have a BKB, cannot do anything about getting disabled, and will go down. VirtusPro, 3 dead on the side of Aspera, and the rest running for their lives. Inquisitor, I mean, he did die, but he bought back, trying to push out bottom lane. We have Zizou, this time not dying. I give kudos to this Chen for walking out very calmly from that battle, but VirtusPro, very convincing in that fight. The lack of BKB is starting to show.
Yeah, and Doom keeps dooming Alchemist. That's like the 3rd time that he's doomed Alchemist. It doesn't actually do that much there. They really need to start... He needs to get a bigger target, even if it's just like Abaddon or Abaddon, to try and take him down as quickly as possible and prevent him from just using shield and mist coil. He'll still pop his ultimate. It won't debuff Doom, but he'll pop it and heal a little bit. But it stops him from casting spells. Resolution, he doesn't need to cast spells. He's just going to walk up and hit people with his swords. So I think they could be using that skill in particular a little bit more effectively, and maybe these fights wouldn't be going the way of VP all of a sudden.
Yeah, VirtusPro trying to go for the racks, now getting aggressive upon. We have Resolution already sitting tight. Ooh, Inquisitor though. Walking back to base, he cannot die right now, he already bought back. It is Juggernaut that ends up dying. Resolution, he turned on his BKB, trying to chase down some supports right now as Sharvik gets himself away, or so he thinks, walks right into the hands of Resolution, ends up going down. 2 cores dead on the side of Aspera. Again, with the buybacks of both of them already on cooldown because they were already used. Now the top lane, it is the target of VirtusPro, or why even go top lane? Why not just go for the tier 4's Resolution thinks? I think this might be GG. A full minute without those cores, and only Inquisitor left standing. That's gonna be game.
Yeah, this was a very swingy momentum game, but VP look like they're just going to come on top here. Inquisitor is still alive, but that's just going to be thrown.
Yeah, there's the Hex, forced up into safety. Stompa doing big works there, have the Aspera imprisonment of course as well, but the throne will still fall. I would like to say though, I mean, if you looked at bets odds for this game, I believe that was very far in favor of VirtusPro, but Aspera, I mean, of course we noticed there maybe lack of experience compared to VirtusPro, sometimes overextending it a little bit too much, but they definitely were not rolled over here by VirtusPro by any stretch.
Yeah, it was a very back and forth game, and VP weren't looking particularly crisp either. Maybe it's just because it's a new lineup, they're still getting used to playing with each other. Obviously, all these heroes, players know each other. They're all been big in the CIS scene, but not maybe quite as used to playing particularly together yet. But they do win it. It was sloppy. It was very sloppy.
Yeah.
They come out on top, so that's what's important here.
Indeed it is. Of course, this was the last game for StarSeries today. Tomorrow we'll continue at 1700. So far, I'm going to just list the games that are so far planned for tomorrow, but of course there might be some change still. Tomorrow we would have Aspera once again, this time up against Ubels. We have Ubels against Roxkiss against NextKZ, and then Power Rangers versus Poseidon. But none of the games fully confirmed just yet. We're going to assume that they are going to be there though, as we will have them confirmed later tonight. Of course, Ganesh, thank you for co-casting with me. Do you have any shoutouts or plugins?
Shout out to Dr. Z, Vasquez, and Funes. And if you like my casting, want to follow me, you can check me out at twitch.tv/Canasta or follow me on Twitter at CanasDota.
Yeah, make sure that you follow him to catch when he goes live next time, or live with me, or live with himself on his own stream. And of course, also follow me on Shiver Gaming, also Twitch, Twitter, both having the same extension. So make sure you do that. And of course, make sure you tune in tomorrow again for StarSeries. If you want to continue watching Dota, I will tell you in just a moment where you can watch that. And we'll be right back with that. Other than that, have a good night.